Lots of businesses have been hit hard by COVID-19. One you may not have thought of is funeral services. How are they coping with the pandemic? How have things changed? With us now, we have Tom Pence. He's a funeral director with Corsmo Funeral Service. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us today.
Good morning, Lisa.
Okay, this is a difficult time, and so many people are affected. And I know, actually, this has been brought to light most recently with a teenager in North Dakota passing away, and people needing to say goodbye in these days of social distancing. Could we first just talk in general as to how hard this is on people? You work with people in some of the most difficult times of their lives already, and then we're adding this to it.
Right, and I certainly understand the emotion that happened in that town regarding that funeral service. We are placed in a unique situation where we are limited to a certain number of people at the services, and we're just not used to that. People want to share their grief, they want to share their emotions, and it's just not possible at this time. As much as we would like to, we just are unable to at this point.
How has what's going on impacted Corsmo specifically? Because I would imagine that would be similar to the other funeral homes here in the FM area.
Absolutely. And you bring up a good point. Not long ago, the five, I'll call them the Metro funeral homes, got together and we discussed the staffing, scheduling, and all of the other issues that are coming up. And so we're all on the same page. But we are, like many businesses, finding that we need to I'll say stagger our staff, the times we are on call, answering the phones, services, things like that. But business does go on, but we are certainly needing to adjust. Like all businesses, funeral services is not any different, but we are having to change as well.
How was it on the first time, maybe having to tell a family, we can still have the funeral, but you're going to have to limit the numbers?
And it's more easier than I thought it was going to be because everybody's in the same situation. This is a global issue. And so when we have to tell a family that we're limited to 10 people, they understand. We have had some families that will be 4 people, some 10. It's not uncommon for one of the grandkids or somebody in the family to have their own device that they can live stream it to other family members at home or across the country. And so fortunately, many families are understanding. It's not easy, as I said earlier, but many families are indeed very understanding.
And I know we have mentioned this before, and I know you work with families of veterans. I would imagine that is one that has really stuck out to me. Honor guards have been asked not to do some of these final tributes that they have in the past. Things are different with what your options are, though.
They indeed are. But the good news, in my opinion, is we are still able to have services, but they are, of course, much smaller. And specifically honor guards, they're simply delayed, as are many services. We are still here at Corsmo's conducting funeral services, memorial services, again, very small numbers. And the majority of our families, I think, are going to be doing some type of another service in the future, whether it be at the church or here at the funeral home or at the cemetery. But you are correct. The honor guard, whether it's the Fargo National Cemetery or any other local cemetery, those honors are just simply having to be delayed, which is difficult. But again, as I said, that's where we are.
Anything you would like families to know just ahead of time? It's never a good time to have a death in the family, but, dealing with these circumstances, anything you'd like people to know as we are all working on this together?
Yes, there really is. As I kind of indicated a few moments ago, we are still able to do at-need services as well as pre-planning. Lives don't change. People still pass on and life goes on. And so we are able to do it still. All funeral homes are capable of doing that, but the technology is making it differently, whether it's a Skype call or a FaceTime or a Zoom conference or face-to-face in small numbers, very small numbers at a distance. So we just want families to know that they can continue on. A little different environment, of course, with the numbers, but really we are still proceeding as usual.
An interesting conversation. Tom, thank you so much for joining us today and kind of breaking down the changes that you're seeing at Corsmo Funeral Home. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Lisa.
We'll be right back here on North Dakota Today.